Decisions. Where to start? So many machines. What do I do? There's so many machines and there's so much stuff to do on them. So many parts, and oh, I want this spring and I want that spring, and so told me this, and blah 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 blah. So confusing. What do I do? Machine tuning is mysterious, the ancient art that has been hidden and passed down from generation to generation. Only the shamans of the tattoo world know how to tune a machine. And that is a bunch of BS. Now let's see what kind of comments I've gotten lately. I feel like my machine is holding me back. Well, hopefully you can watch this video and I can help you out. I feel like my machine is holding me back from reaching that next level. Yeah, that can happen. Nick Durant here with Tattoo University. Today I'm starting the long process of tuning a bunch of tattoo machines. So you might have picked up a machine like this, bought it from a tattoo supply store, and you have no idea what to do with this thing, and you try to tattoo with this, but it's not working because it's never been tuned correctly. So I'm going to take you through the process that I use to tune machines. And as I go through this process, I'm going to document it and I'm going to add it to the website. There it is right there. If you haven't visited the website, you should check it out. GoTattooU.com. Don't forget to add that U in there or else it'll just take you to another site. And this is a work in progress, but I have a lot of plans for this. The idea for the website is that any information you need, you can come here and find it. But if you check this out, you can already see the direction I'm going in as far as teaching people how to tune their own machines. If you go to the machine tuning page, I already have the first part set up. A machine is actually really simple, and I think the simpler the machine, the better it is, because then you have less parts that are going to mess up and break on you. You just want it to do its job. You know, it really doesn't even need to look good. It just needs to work correctly. But we love our machines and we want to be fancy. We pretty them up and make them all exciting because we want cool stuff. And that's okay as long as you don't add anything that will interfere with your machine working correctly. Okay, now that I don't have any parts attached to this frame, I can go ahead and remove anything on the frame that I don't want, which are these little points right here. So I'm going to use my Dremel tool. You can use a hacksaw, whatever it takes to remove those. And you see, once we remove that crazy nonsense off the machine, we have our basic machine frame. So I get asked, how do you clean your tattoo machine? And while I have this apart, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down with germicidal solution. So the point I want to make real quick here is if you look at precautionary statements, danger, right there. Hopefully, I don't know if you can read. It's a little, you're just going to have to trust me. Danger, corrosive, danger, corrosive. It's like rubbing alcohol and your Maticide solution will cause rust. If your machine is not coated correctly, it will start to rust. And any bare spots like this will start to rust really quick. Unless this was aluminum or it's coated properly. What I'm going to do before I move on is I'm going to spray this area here with a clear spray paint to make sure that that metal is coated and it won't rust. Because things like the Maticide solution and rubbing alcohol and stuff like that will cause it to rust quicker. And the problem I had when I first started tattooing is I cleaned my machines all the time and they rusted all the time because they weren't coated correctly and I was just cleaning them all the time. Sometimes excessive cleaning can also be bad because it will start to rust your machine. What you want to do is get things like UV lights and some wipes. You can't get into all the parts when the machine's together, but you can get some wipes and some germicidal solution and just wipe it down, wipe the outside down, and then put it under UV light. Let that UV light get into all the little nooks and crannies there to kill off all the germs. But if you just constantly soaking this with Maticide and rubbing alcohol, you're going to rust your machine out. And you don't want to do that. You want this machine to last a really long time. So make sure it's coated properly. And then when you clean it, don't be excessive. Just wipe it down and then get a UV light or something and put it under that. UV light comes from the sun also, and the air, the sun and the air will kill germs off also. So, you know, let it breathe a little bit. Let it get a little sunlight. Not too much, you know, you don't put it directly in the sun or in the microwave or something. Cover this with some spray paint. By the time that is done, hopefully this will be dried up enough and we can put our coils back on here. And we've just removed all the little pokey things, given it a good sanding, make this nice and shiny, and then sand this down, make it nice and smooth, and we're going to give it a nice clear coat on top of this to keep it from rusting. So now we've removed all of the little spiky nonsense that was on this frame. Another thing that you need to check on your frames is the 90-degree angles and that everything lines up. I don't usually buy this type of frame. This frame is cut or punched out flat and then bent into place. Sometimes if it's not bent correctly, you won't have an exact 90-degree angle here. Hey bro, I just want to thank you. I tattoo as a secondary gig and the tips you give are very helpful. I think that's really important, and I think we're going to touch on this in the future. Some people are part-time tattoo artists and they have other jobs, and I don't think this holds them back. I think it's an asset because you get more experience. And some of these people, a lot of these people who I've talked to and I have contact with, they're busy, you know, they need to pay the rent. They can't just jump into a tattoo apprentice position that doesn't pay. These people love tattoos and they love art and they love the process of tattooing and want to learn how to do tattoos, and the only way they can do it is learning part-time, learning in their spare time. And you can do that. A lot of tattoo artists say you can only tattoo full-time, but that would restrict a lot of these people from doing tattoos, and a lot of these people are really good tattoo artists.